Hi, Virgo. Welcome back to your channel. Um, wait, Virgo. Before anything else, I need to say this up front. I'm not here to predict anything. I'm not telling you what's coming. I'm not doing that whole they're coming back thing. We stay in the now and what's real and what you can actually work with today. Take what lands, leave what doesn't. And real quick, thank you for being here, for rocking with me, for the support. So, meeting you, loving you, losing you has been their greatest lesson, and they can't live without you. That's what we're looking at. But, Virgo, stop. Just stop for a second, because I need to completely flip what you think this reading is about. The person who met you, who loved you, who lost you, the person who learned the greatest lesson, the person who can't live without you, that's not some ex, that's not some person who ghosted you, that's not whoever you're thinking about right now. It's you again. You met yourself, you loved yourself for a minute, you lost yourself trying to please everyone else, and now you're learning. The lesson is yours, and you're the one who can't live without you anymore. Let me pull a card. The Lover's reversed. Interesting. The Lover's reversed is disconnection. It's misalignment. It's choosing others over self. What's showing up here, what I'm seeing clearly, is that you've been in this relationship with yourself and you broke up. You literally ghosted yourself. You stopped checking in, stopped listening, stopped honoring your own needs because you were too busy trying to be what someone else wanted. And that breakup, that loss of self, it's teaching you something brutal right now. It's teaching you that no connection outside you matters if you're disconnected inside. My shoulders are so tense right now, I can barely move my neck. Okay, so let me get into this greatest lesson energy. What are you actually learning? Knight of Cups reversed appears. Oh man. Knight of Cups reversed is disillusionment. It's the end of fantasy. It's realizing that the romantic ideas you had, they weren't real. And here's what's happening. The lesson isn't about them. The lesson is that you've been chasing a fantasy version of love, a fantasy version of connection where you give everything and somehow that makes you worthy, that makes you enough, that makes you deserving. But Virgo, that's not love. That's martyrdom. That's self-abandonment dressed up as devotion. Here's the psychology behind it. You thought losing yourself in someone else was the same as finding love. You thought making yourself smaller made the relationship bigger. You thought if you just loved hard enough, gave enough, sacrificed enough, it would matter, but it didn't. And now you're sitting with this lesson, this brutal lesson that you can't love someone into loving you, right? You can't give your way into being valued. You can't sacrifice yourself into being chosen. The only person who can choose you, who needs to choose you, who must choose you, it's you. So what do you do with this? How do you move forward? Stop romanticizing what broke you. Stop making excuses for people who showed you exactly who they were. Stop telling yourself that losing you was their loss when you haven't even acknowledged that losing yourself was yours. The work right now is grieving. Not grieving them, grieving the version of you who thought love meant disappearing. Grieving the part of you that believed your worth was negotiable. Grieving the you who settled for crumbs and called it a banquet. Wait, let me see what you're holding on to. Seven of Cups. Classic. Seven of Cups is illusion. It's too many options. It's confusion. And what this is telling me, what's crystal clear, is that you're stuck in the illusion that this was about them learning to appreciate you, them realizing what they lost, them regretting how they treated you. But Virgo, those are fantasies. Those are stories you tell yourself to avoid the real work. The real work is you learning to appreciate you, you realizing what you lost when you abandoned yourself, you regretting how you treated yourself. Let me be straight with you. They can't live without you? Maybe not. But that's irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Because the question isn't, can they live without you? The question is, can you live without you? Can you survive another day ignoring your intuition? Can you keep going, accepting less than you deserve? Can you exist disconnected from your own truth? And right now, the answer you're discovering is no, you can't. You literally can't keep betraying yourself and expect to thrive. My phone just vibrated and I jumped like it was a gunshot. I'm so on edge. Okay, so here's where this gets deeper. The greatest lesson energy. What's the actual lesson? Let me pull. The Hermit. Yes. The Hermit is solitude. It's going inward. It's finding truth in the quiet. And this is it. This is the lesson. You need to be alone. Not lonely, alone. You need to spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself again. Remember who you were before you started performing for approval, before you started twisting into shapes to fit into someone else's life. The lesson is that you're enough. Just you. Not you plus someone else. Not you with validation. Not you with external proof of your worth. Just you. Exactly as you are right now. Messy and broken and healing and growing. That's the lesson. And it's brutal because it means all that time you spent trying to be enough for someone else, you were already enough. You just didn't know it. You didn't believe it. You didn't act like it. So the developmental work, the growth you're being called into, it's this. Stop waiting for someone to realize you were the one. Realize it yourself. Stop hoping someone comes back. Come back to yourself. Stop obsessing over whether they learned their lesson. Focus on yours. And your lesson, Virgo, it's that you don't need anyone to complete you, to save you, to validate you. You need you. You need to show up for you the way you showed up for them. You need to love you the way you love them. You need to choose you the way you kept choosing them, even when they didn't choose you back. Let me pull what happens when you learn this lesson. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, damn. Ace of Pentacles is new beginning. It's solid foundation. It's tangible growth. What this is showing, what's here right now, is that when you choose yourself, when you really commit to yourself, everything shifts. Not because external circumstances change, but because you change. Your energy changes, your standards change, what you accept changes, and suddenly you're not available for what used to hook you. You're not accessible to what used to drain you. You're building something new, something real, something that starts with you being whole on your own. The practical step, today, right now. Write down every way you abandoned yourself in that relationship, that situation, that dynamic. Every time you ignored your gut. Every time you said yes when you meant no. Every time you made yourself small. Every time you accepted less. Write it all down. And then actually commit to never doing that again. Not because they don't deserve it, but because you do. You deserve better from yourself. Here's what people don't get about this greatest lesson thing. They think it's about the other person having an epiphany, realizing what they had, coming back changed. But that's not how life works. That's not how growth works. The lesson is yours. It's always been yours. Meeting them showed you where you abandon yourself. Loving them showed you how you prioritize others over self. Losing them showed you that external validation is unstable. And now you get to choose. Keep repeating the pattern or learn the lesson. Okay, final card. What you need to embody right now. Queen of Swords. Perfect. Queen of Swords is clarity. It's boundaries. It's cutting through illusion with truth. This is who you're becoming. Not the person who needs someone to complete them, but the queen who sees clearly, who speaks truth, who protects her peace at all costs. The queen who knows that loving someone doesn't mean losing yourself. The queen who understands that the greatest love story isn't finding someone who can't live without you, but becoming someone you can't live without. So here's what I need. Comment this. I am the lesson. 5 words. I am the lesson. Because that's the shift. You're not waiting for them to learn. You're learning. You're growing. You're evolving. You're becoming the person who doesn't need this reading because you already know your worth. You already choose yourself. You already understand that the greatest lesson isn't about them. It's about you finally meeting yourself, loving yourself, and refusing to lose yourself ever again. Stay magic, Virgo. Heal that Lover's reverse disconnection. Release that Knight of Cups reverse fantasy. Clear that Seven of Cups illusion. Embrace that Hermit solitude. Build that Ace of Pentacles foundation. Become that Queen of Swords clarity. And those puds who can't live without you but treated you like an option, those weirdos who learned their lesson too late, those losers on the ground who want you back now that you're gone, they don't matter. What matters is you. You coming home to yourself. You choosing yourself. You learning that the love you were searching for outside was always inside, waiting for you to notice. The relationship with yourself, and you've just become single. You've literally ghosted yourself. You've stopped checking in on yourself, didn't listen, didn't respect and honor your own needs because you were so busy trying to be what somebody else wanted you to be. You had to teach yourself a pretty harsh lesson about the fact that no matter how much connection there is outside, if you're disconnected inside, my shoulders are so tight I can't even move my neck properly. Okay, so let's see what this greatest lesson energy is. What are you really learning? Knight of Cups reversed is what is the Knight of Cups reversed? Well, damn. Knight of Cups reversed is disillusionment. It's the end of fantasy. It's the realization that the love stories you were telling yourself weren't real. And here's the thing. That's not what the lesson is. The lesson is you've been trying to find a love story where you give, and then that makes you worthy, and then that makes you enough, and then that makes you deserving. But Virgo, that's not love. That's martyrdom. That's self-neglect dressed up as devotion. Here's the psychoanalysis to it. You believed that losing yourself in someone else was the same as finding love. You believed that making yourself smaller would make the relationship bigger. You believed that if you just loved hard enough, gave enough, sacrificed enough, it would count. But it didn't. And now you're sitting with this lesson, this brutal lesson that you can't love your way into love properly, that you can't give your way into being appreciated, that you can't sacrifice your way into being chosen. It's you who has to choose. So what's the point? How do we move on? End the fairy tale of wishing it had ended differently. End the self. Blame when he showed you right from the start who he was. End the false hope that it was a loss for him when in reality it was a loss for you. What's happening now isn't the time to try grieving him. It's the time to grieve the you that figured disappearing was a prerequisite for love. The you who thought you had to settle for less to be worthy of more. The you who dazed away on crumbs and called it a feast. Wait, I want to see what I'm playing with here. Seven of Cups. Of course. Seven of Cups is illusion. It's too many options. It's an illusion, an empty illusion of happiness. And what I can tell you is very clear that you are caught up in the illusion that this was about them learning to love you, them realizing that they lost you, them regretting the way they treated you. But Virgo, those are all stories you tell yourself to avoid doing what you need to do. What you actually need to do is learn to love you. Realize what you lost in walking away from you. Regret the way you treated yourself. Let me be clear with you. They can't live without you? Maybe, maybe not. But that doesn't matter. Not one bit. Because the question isn't can they live without you? It's can you live without you? Can you get up one more day and not listen to your intuition? Can you do one more day of accepting less than you deserve? Can you go one more day alienated from your authenticity? And right now, right this very moment, the answer you're discovering is no. You can't. You simply can't keep betraying yourself and expect to thrive. Just checked my phone and it was vibrating wildly, and I literally jumped like it was a gunshot. So tense like this all the time. Okay, so now it gets real deep. The best teacher is energy. No. But what's the lesson? Let me see. The hermit. Yes. The hermit is solitude. It's going in. It's finding truth in the quiet. Quiet. And this is it. This is the lesson. You have to be alone. Not lonely. Alone. You have to spend time with yourself. Find out who you are again. Remember who you were before you started performing for approval, before you started twisting into shapes to fit into someone else's life. What the lesson is that you are enough. Just you. Not you and someone else. Not you with acceptance. Not you with some kind of outside sign that you're worth it. Just you, exactly as you are now. Messy, broken, healing, and growing. That's the lesson. And it's brutal because it means that for all that time you weren't enough for someone else. You were enough. You just didn't realize it. You didn't believe it. You didn't act like it. So the developmental work, the growth you're being called to is this. Let go of waiting for someone to realize you were the one. Realize it first. Let go of wishing they would call you back to yourself. Let go of waiting for them to finally have learned their lesson. Focus on your lesson. Your lesson, Virgo, is you do not need someone else to complete you, save you, validate you. You need you. You need to be there for you like you were there for them. You need to love yourself like you loved them. You need to choose yourself like you chose them over and over again, even when they did not choose you back. Let me draw what happens when you learn this lesson. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, shit. Ace of Pentacles is new beginning. It's solid foundation. It's tangible growth. What this is showing, what's here right now, is that when you choose yourself, when you really, really commit to yourself, everything flips. Not because the world or your external circumstances flip out, but because you change. Your energy changes. Your standards change. What you will and won't accept changes. And all of a sudden, you're not available for what used to hook you. You're not available for what used to drain you. You're building something new, something real, something that always begins with you being whole on your own. The next practical step, today. Today is the day. Today is the day you document all those ways you betrayed yourself in that relationship, in that situation, in that dynamic. Every time you disregarded your intuition, every time you answered yes when you wanted to answer no, every time you diminished yourself, every time you settled for less, write it all down. And then really, truly, 100% commit to never again doing that for yourself. Not because they don't need it, but because you do. Here is what people don't understand about this greatest lesson business. They believe that the other is having some sort of awakening, recognizing what she had, coming back better. That's not life. That's not growth. The lesson is yours. It has always been yours. Meeting her, you saw where you continually else yourself. Loving him, you saw how you put everyone else above yourself. Losing them, you saw that outside approval is a false god. Now you get to decide. Keep doing what you've been doing or learn the lesson. And last final card, what you need to be for right now. Queen of Swords. Absolute perfect. Queen of Swords is clarity, boundaries, cutting through illusions with truth. This is who you're becoming. Not the girl who needs somebody to complete her, but the queen who sees clearly, who speaks the truth, who protects her peace at all cost. The queen who gets that loving someone doesn't mean losing themselves. The queen who gets the greatest love story isn't finding someone who can't live without you, but becoming someone you can't live without? Here's what I need. Say it in the comment. I am the lesson. I am the lesson. 5 words. That's the switch. You aren't waiting for them to learn. You are learning. You are being taught. You are growing. You are becoming the person that this reading isn't necessary for, because you already know yourself. You already choose yourself. You already get that the ultimate lesson isn't them. It's finally you meeting yourself, loving yourself, never again losing yourself. Stay magic, Virgo. Heal that Lover's reverse detachment. Release that Knight of Cups reverse fantasy. Clear that Seven of Cups illusion. Embrace that Hermit quiet. Build that Ace of Pentacles stability. Become that Queen of Swords rationality. And those puds who couldn't live without you but treated you like an option, those weirdos who learned their lessons far too late, those losers who were begging you to take them back now that you are gone, nothing but a distraction. What matters is you. You coming back home to yourself. You choosing yourself. You realizing that the love you've been seeking so desperately outside of yourself has been inside all along, waiting for you to come find it.